All right, welcome back to the Sideline Report. I'm Marvin Jackson, along with my experts who are here with me, Shennekia, Mykell, Alexia, and Nikki. Well, Super Bowl is coming up, and did anybody pick Denver to be there? I think you did.
I was perfect.
You were perfect.
I picked Denver and I picked Carolina. I think I only lost the Redskins one.
Okay.
Next
You
year.
were perfect. Did anybody else?
I wasn't surprised, but they weren't top of my list. Honestly, I thought Brady was gonna do it again. You know.
Same here.
All right.
I know. Hey, I'm not upset about it. Not upset about it.
All right, well, on the phone to talk more about the Super Bowl is one of the greatest to play football in Washington, number 23, Brig Owens. Thanks for joining us, Brig.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Good evening, ladies.
Yeah, he already knows I'm outnumbered, but he's helping me out. Thanks for joining me, Brig. And we are discussing the Super Bowl and the quarterback matchups. First, let's talk a little bit about your background. You were one of the first, you were on that first Redskin team that played in the Super Bowl.
Correct.
And, you might want to talk to us about that experience.
Well, one of the things that what takes place at the Super Bowl, you played in a lot of big games, and you realize going to the Super Bowl is the biggest of all the games. And you realize that once you get there, it is really huge because the media is all over you. First week that you get there, you can't hardly get any rest because the media is all over you. And you're trying to stay focused on the game, and once the game starts, you realize it's another game. So you got to focus in on playing the way you've always played. And the thing is, it's a team game, and you got to remember that offense, defense, special teams, everyone's got to be clicking on all cylinders and not let anything on the outside distract you, because it's very easy to get distracted. And so you got to really stay focused, and each player on the team has to remind their teammates to stay focused.
You were calling signals, defensive signals back then, weren't you? You were probably you and a couple other guys were doing that.
Yeah, it's Chris Hamburg and myself.
You and Chris, yeah. And, of course, we know a little bit about you that you actually had, you were a quarterback in college. I think you wanted to talk about that, Alexia?
Nikki had a question for him, actually.
Mr. Owen, Nikki Lewis. Talk to us about the evolution of African-American quarterbacks now.
Well, it was, as Marvin mentioned, I was quarterback in high school. I used to call my own plays. I call audibles and all that kind of thing. But back then, there were very few African-American quarterbacks in the country. And a lot of schools that offered me scholarships, they wanted me to play running back, wide receiver. And my high school coach always told me, don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't play quarterback. And he had taught me how to read and call plays when I was a sophomore in high school. I was 116 pounds soaking wet. And I took over the starting job after the fourth game and created a winning season for us. And I ended up going to the University of Cincinnati because they were one of the few schools that guaranteed that let me play quarterback. And also, they said they would support my efforts in making sure that I graduated. And because my mom said I was first in the family, I'm one of 13 kids, and being the only one in our community to go to a four-year school. And she said they have a offer on the table. They want to take advantage of your talent as a athlete, but you're also very smart. So you got to take advantage of what they have on the table, which is an education. You can't come home without your degree. So I was afraid to come home. But the university kept their word. Played quarterback there. We had a great team, one of the top teams in the country. I was one of the top quarterbacks in the country. And I've been very involved with the university ever since then, part of the president's kitchen cabinet. And a couple of years ago, they honored me with a honorary doctorate degree. So I'm very much involved with the university. And I don't think any other school that I would have gone to would have done that. And I met my wife there, and we've been married for 50 years. I met her in registration line, stood behind her for 2 hours trying to talk to her, but she didn't want to have anything to do with me.
I
I
met her.
didn't need to be in the
I met her at
registration-
Redskins
I didn't need to be in
homecoming
the
too,
registration
Brig.
line.
She's a very nice lady. You-
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of piggyback off of Nikki's question, Mr. Owens. This is Alexia, and just kind of get your thoughts on Cam. I know I personally am a fan. I think it's awesome that he has the potential, I believe, to become one of the most decorated football players with a JUCO championship, a national championship, a Heisman Trophy, now MVP, possibility to win the Super Bowl. To me, that is just phenomenal. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts on him as a player.
Well, the thing is that he's a winner. Cam is a winner wherever he's been. They've won championships. And he's always been focused, even though he does a lot of show things, but you also got to realize and notice that he's also a team player. And that's what I recognize about him, is that he's such a team player. But he's won wherever he's been. And not many people can say that. He's always won when the bright lights have been the brightest. He's won. And the bright lights have not bothered him.
My name is Mykell, and I wanted to ask you about Peyton Manning now. We can talk about Cam, but the other storyline is watching a legend ride out into the sunset with one more. Omaha, one more time. Explain to us Peyton Manning's impact, and do you think if he doesn't win it, will it tarnish his legacy?
No, I mean, he's contributed too much to the game and the NFL and the community wherever he's been. And he's a great quarterback, and I think what you're seeing is probably the changing of the guard in terms of the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks coming in today, they're all very athletic. They can run, they can throw, and they can lead. So I think you see a difference. You don't see that the quarterback that's a straight drop back quarterback. Quarterbacks today have, and the ones in the future, have to be able to be mobile, because you have defensive linemen and linebackers that are extremely big and they're fast. And these guys are 280 pounds, 300 pounds, and they're running 4.6 and 4.5.
All right, and Mr. Owens, this is Shennekia Grimshaw here. I just want to know your predictions for the Super Bowl. Who do you think? I
think it'll be a close game. I think I would give Carolina the edge because of Cam. Like I said, he can produce. I mean, he's very mobile. I think that's what happened with New England. Brady was not able to get out of the way, and they didn't give Brady any protection by keeping the backs in the backfield to knock off Ware and Miller. I mean, the linebackers had a field day on Brady. I think Cam, with his mobility and size, creates a problem for them.
And one more thing. Do you think, just because you're a Redskins veteran, do you think we have what it takes to pull it off again? Could we make it to the Super Bowl? Do you see it?
Well, it's a matter of really opportunities and staying healthy. Being healthy is so very important, especially if you get down the stretch. And we have a few more pieces that we need to put together, and I think with Scott McCloughan there, and you got Bruce Allen, they're bringing in the right people now, and you could see it. And the guys had a taste of winning and a taste of a playoff, and they realize that what they need to do in order to get the next step.
Mr. Bird, we have a few more seconds. This is Mykell again. We know about your quarterback background, but you're a defensive guy, so you like to place those hits. So I got to ask you, one of the things that was troubling for me was watching that Redskins secondary. To me, that hasn't been the same since Sean Taylor. May he rest in peace. What are your thoughts on that secondary, and what are your thoughts on the defense going into the next year? What do they need?
Well, what bothers me about secondaries, period, in the NFL, they play so much zone. And because it's become a passing game, and they play a lot of zone, and A lot of the defensive backs are not very good in terms of man-to-man coverage. And I think if you teach guys to play that man-to-man coverage, they'll react a lot better in the zones. They'll react to the ball a lot quicker. If you're playing a lot of zone, you tend to float. So I think they need to be teaching them more man-to-man skills. But that's what bothers me about the secondary. It doesn't make any difference what team, is that they play so much zone. They play zone inside the 20 or inside the 10. And all the receiver has to do is go in there and turn around, and he's got the ball.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we have really enjoyed you being on here with us today, and we thank you for joining us, man.
It's my pleasure.
And, you and I need to talk also about that campaign to get Larry Brown into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so we got to get him. He should have been there a long time ago, and same thing with Jerry Smith.
All right.
And, Larry was an MVP, and he should be there.
All right. Well, thanks so much, and I'll be talking to you soon, Brig.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care, ladies.
Alrighty.
All right. So Brig has left me all alone under,
You talk like you're under siege or something.
I mean, yeah. Well, I just got to say that for the guys out there. But
They should be
actually, they
jealous.
should be, eat your hearts out, guys. But, but let's talk a little bit about this Super Bowl and the prediction from you all. I want to get a prediction from each one of you in, like 30 seconds each one of you on the Super Bowl. Starting with Nikki.
Okay. I'm going with Cam on this one. I think he played a stellar season. He had 35 touchdowns. He's a dynamic quarterback, and I think you have to go with the numbers. Okay. And even though he's been given a hard time about his dance of celebration, which I think is fine. It's not that bad. It's just a dab, and I think it's cute. And I think the fans really love it, and it draws people into him, and it shows people that he's human.
And it's what? What is it?
The dab.
Can I
The
see
dab.
that?
You gotta.
All right. All right.
And I think it just shows that he's human. He's doing all these superhuman things on the field, but he's still a down-to-earth guy. Mm-hmm. And I'm really rooting for the Panthers to take it.
What about you, Alexia?
I mean, as a Carolina girl myself, I think the team dynamic, the Panthers are clicking on all cylinders. Defense, offense, they are really playing team ball. And when I look at Denver, no shade at all. I think their offense is a little, on the line. Sometimes you see them really doing some spectacular things, and of course they're under great leadership with Peyton Manning, but in their defense is clicking. Like, they are Von Miller. Like,
right.
let's
Von
talk
Miller
about
is
him,
a real
right?
key, because if he can get to Cam, I mean, that could make a difference.
But again, I would piggyback off what Mr. Owens said. Mm-hmm. I don't think that they've seen a quarterback quite like Cam at this point. I mean, he's running, he's big, he's fast. He's clicking.
I mean, I know we've had all this Cam talk, but we can't denounce Denver.
Absolutely not.
Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware with that tornado spin move. You thought he can't spin, and he spins off the other guy.
That was the difference in the New England game.
And the thing is, also, people get hung up on Peyton Manning becoming a manager. That's not a bad way. Let's be real. This man was almost not even playing any longer. He was a backup. The first time he's been a backup since Tennessee. So he can be a manager of the game, and that's not bad at this point in his career. But, I mean, you have to pick Cam.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to denounce that. I agree. Manning's experience, his veteran experience, I mean, that could be, enough. Right. And I know that the Carolina Panthers, I mean, in all corners, they work collectively. They're really good at what they do. And Cam is just really hot right now. He's fire.
It's his year.
Yeah, it's his year. So
look, we gotta close down. But what I did want to get from each one of you is, what is your favorite dish for Super Bowls? Because everybody's about to plan their Super Bowl party. Mm-hmm. So what would you guys say you would have?
I would have chili cheese dip.
Okay, you're
chili
with me.
cheese dip, but it's more cheesy than it is chili.
What about you, Alexia? Chicken wings.
I'm there for it all.
Look, I was nachos. I love nachos.
Okay.
That's all.
All right, I'm with you with the wings. I'll be over. All right.
Barbecue.
Okay.
Barbecue.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining me, Shennekia, Mykell, Alexia, and Nikki. We appreciate you. Have fun watching the Super Bowl, everybody.